Now, honey, here. Look over your left shoulder and make a wish. Now, honey, wish.
What shall I wish for, Mother?
Happiness. Just a little bit of good fortune.
The following evening, I brought Jim home to dinner. I had known Jim slightly in high school, and Jim was the only person at the warehouse with whom I was on friendly terms. I was valuable to him as someone who could remember his former glory, who had seen him win basketball games and the Silver Cup in debating. He knew of my secret practice of retiring to a cabinet of the washroom to work on poems when business was slack at the warehouse. He called me Shakespeare. And while the other boys in the warehouse regarded me with a suspicious hostility, Jim took a humorous attitude towards me. Gradually, his attitude affected the others, and their hostility wore off, and they also began to smile at me, as people smile at an oddly fashioned dog who trots across their path at some distance. I knew that Jim and Laura had known each other in high school, and I had heard Laura speak admiringly of Jim's voice. I didn't know whether Jim remembered her or not, for in high school, Laura had been as unobtrusive as Jim had been astonishing. If he did remember her at all, it was not as my sister, for when I asked him to dinner, he grinned and said, "You know, Shakespeare, I never thought of you as having folks." He was about to discover that I did.
Now hold still. Honey, why are you trembling so?
Mother, you've made me so nervous.
Well, now, how have I made you nervous?
By all this fuss, you make it seem so important.
Laura, I don't understand you. Every time I try to do anything that is the least bit different for you, you just seem to set yourself against it. Now, turn around. Look at yourself in the mirror. Now, come on, look. Oh, no, wait. I forgot something.
What is it?
A couple of little improvements. Now, when I was a girl, we called these gay deceivers.
Mother, I won't wear these.
Well, of course you wear them.
Well, why should I?
Well, honey, to tell you the truth, you are a little bit flat-chested.
Mother, you make it seem like we're setting a trap.
We are setting a trap. All pretty girls are a trap, and all men expect them to be. Now, come on, turn around, look at yourself in the mirror. Now, look. Now, isn't that lovely? You look just like an angel on a postcard. Now, you run on out, and I'm going to dress myself all up. You're going to be astonished at your mother's appearance.
You know, I found this old dress in a trunk. Awful lot to it. You know, Laura, it broke my heart, but I had to let it out. Oh, my, is that thunder? Oh, my Lord. All right. Now, Laura, take a look at your mother. Oh, no, wait. Now, Laura, take a look at your mother now.
Oh, Mother, how lovely.
Well, it used to be. It used to be. Had a lot of flowers all over, but they got kind of tired, so I had to take them all off. I led the cotillion in this dress a long time ago. And I won the cakewalk twice at Sunset Hill. And I wore it to the governor's ball in Jackson. Oh, Lord, you should have seen your mother. How she just sashayed around that ballroom just like that. And I had it on the night I met your father. I had malaria fever, too. The change of climate from East Tennessee to the Delta had weakened my resistance a little. Not enough to be dangerous, but just enough to make me restless and giddy. Oh, it was lovely. Invitations just poured in from all over. And my mother said, honey, you can't go any place. You got a fever. You got to stay in bed. And I said I wouldn't. And I just took quinine and I kept on going. Dances every evening. And in the afternoons, long drives in the country. Picnics. Oh, Lord, that country. That country. So lovely in May. All lacy with dogwood, simply flooded with jonquils. And my mother said, honey, you can't bring any more jonquils in the house. And I said, I will. And I just kept on bringing them in. Every time I saw them, I'd say, stop, I see jonquils. And I'd make my gentleman callers get out of the carriage and help me to get out. Got to be kind of joke. They'd say, look out. Here comes that girl. We're going to have to spend the rest of the afternoon picking jonquils. My mother said, honey, you can't bring any more jonquils in the house. We don't have enough bases to hold them all. I said, that's all right. I'll hold some myself. Malaria fever. Your father. Oh, I hope they get here before it starts to rain. I gave your brother a little extra change so he and Mr. O'Connor could take the service car home.
Mother,
Hmm?
what did you say his name is?
O'Connor, what?
What is his first name?
Oh, honey, I don't remember. Oh, yes, I do know. It was Jim.
Is he the one that Tom used to go to high school with?
Well, he didn't say. I think he just met him at the White House.
Tom and I both used to know Jim O'Connor in high school. Mother, if that is the one that Tom is bringing home to dinner, you will have to excuse me. I won't come to the table.
Now, what kind of silly talk is this?
You asked me once if I ever liked a boy. Remember, I showed you his picture.
You mean the boy in the yearbook?
Yes, Mother, that boy.
Oh, Laura, were you in love with that boy?
I don't know, Mother. I just know that if it was him, I couldn't sit at the table.
Well, it won't be him. It's not the least bit likely, but even if it were, you will come to the table. You will not be excused.
I would have to be, Mother.
Laura, I don't intend to humor your silliness now. I've had enough from you and your brother. Now, you just come on over here and sit yourself down and compose yourself until they get here. Now, your brother has forgotten his key, so you're going to have to let him in when they arrive.
Oh, no, Mother, please, you answer the door.
But how can I when I haven't even finished the mayonnaise dressing for the salmon?
Mother, please, you answer it. Don't make me do it.
Laura, honey, please be reasonable. What is all this fuss about? It's just one gentleman caller, darling. That's all, just one.
Mother. Mother.
Laura, honey, the door.
Mother, you answer the door.
What is the matter with you, you silly thing?
Mother, please, you answer it, please.
Have you taken this moment to lose your mind? Now go to the door.
I can't.
Why can't you?
I'm sick.
Oh, you're sick. Am I sick? You and your brother have me puzzled to death. You could never act like normal children. Will you give me one good reason why you should be afraid to go to a door? Now, Laura, go to the door. Laura Wingfield, march straight to that door.
Yes, Mother.
Honey, I have to put courage in you for living.
Laura, this is Jim. Jim, this is my sister, Laura.
I didn't know Shakespeare had a sister. How are you, Laura?
How do you do?
Well, I'm okay. Hey, your hand is cold, Laura.
Yes, well, I've been playing the Victrola.
Oh, you must have been playing classical music on it. You ought to put a little hot swing on to warm you up. What's the matter?
With Laura? Laura's terribly shy.
Shy, huh? You know, it is unusual to meet a shy girl nowadays. I don't believe you ever told me you had a sister.
Now you know. I have one. Here's the hostess badge. You want a piece of it?
Yeah.
What piece? Comics?
Comics, sports. Oh, well, I see the Dizzy Dean is on his bad behavior. Where you going?
Out on the terrace to smoke.
Shakespeare, I'm gonna sell you a bill of goods.
What goods?
Course I'm taking. Course in public speaking. You know, you and me, we're not the warehouse type.
Thanks. That's good news. But what has public speaking got to do with it?
I fit you for executive positions. I'd tell you it's done a hell of a lot for me.
In what respect?
In all respects. Ask yourself, what's the difference between you and me and the guys in the office down front? Brains? No. Ability? No. Then what? Well, primarily Shakespeare, it amounts to just one single thing.
What is that single thing?
Social poise. The ability to be able to square up to somebody and hold your own on any social level.
Tom?
Yes, Mother.
Is that you and Mr. O'Connor?
Yes, Mother.
Will y'all make yourselves comfortable?
Yes, Mother.
Ask Mr. O'Connor if he'd like to wash his hands.
Oh, no thank you, ma'am. Took care of that already down in the warehouse. Tom. Mr. Mendoza's been speaking to me about you.
Favorably?
What do you think? Tom, you're gonna be out of a job if you don't wake up.
I am waking up.
You show no signs.
The signs are interior. I'm planning a change. I am right at the point of committing myself to a future which doesn't include Mr. Mendoza, or the warehouse, or even a night school course in public speaking.
What are you gassing about?
I'm tired of the movies.
The movies?
Yes, movies. Look at them. All those glamorous people out there having adventures, hogging it all, gobbling the whole thing up. And you know what happens? People go to the movies instead of moving. Hollywood characters are supposed to have the adventure for everyone in America. Well, everyone in America just sits in a dark room and watches them have them until there's a war. That's when adventure becomes available to the masses. everyone's dish, not only Gable's, then the people in the dark room can come out of the dark room and have a little adventure for themselves. Goody goody. It's our turn now to be exotic from far off. But I am not patient, and I'm not going to wait till then. I am tired of the movies, and I am about to move.
Move?
Yes,
When?
soon.
Where? Where?
I'm starting to boil inside. I know that I seem dreamy, but whenever I pick up a shoe, I just shudder a little, thinking how short life is, and what am I doing? You know, and whatever that means, I know it does not mean shoes, except as something to wear on a traveler's feet. Look,
The Union of Merchant Seamen?
as I paid my dues last month instead of the light bill.
You're gonna regret it when they turn the lights off.
I won't be here.
What about your mother?
Like my father, the bastard son of a bastard. Did you notice how he's grinning in his picture in there? He's been absent going on 16 years.
You're just talking. You drip. What is your mother gonna say about that?
Mother is not acquainted with my plans.
Tom,
Yes, Mother?
where are y'all?
We're on the terrace, Mother.
Well, why don't y'all come on inside?
Mother, you look so pretty.
You know, that is the first compliment you have ever paid me. I wish you'd look pleasant when you're about to say something pleasant so I know to expect it. Mr. O'Connor?
How do you do, ma'am?
Oh, well, so this is Mr. O'Connor. Well, introductions are entirely unnecessary because I've heard so much about you from my boy. I finally said to him, I said, Tom, why don't you bring this paragon home to supper finally? I want to meet this nice young man from the White House instead of just hearing you sing his praises all the time. I don't know why my son is so standoffish. That's not Southern behavior. Well, let's sit down. Let's sit down. You know, Tom, I think we could use a little air in here. You want to leave the door open? I felt a nice fresh breeze a while ago. I don't know where it's gone to. So warm already, and it's not even summer yet. We're gonna burn up when summer finally gets here. However, we're having a light supper this evening. I think light things are better for this time of year. Like light clothes are, light food, light clothes, what warm weather calls for. Because you see, our blood gets so thick in the winter that it takes a little while for us to readjust ourselves when summer comes. But it's come so quick this year, I just wasn't prepared for it. Just good heavens, all of a sudden it was summertime. So I just ran to the trunk and I pulled out this light dress. It's terribly old, it's practically historical. But it feels so good and cool, you know.
Mother, how about supper?
Well, honey, you have to ask Sister about supper. Well, you know Sister's in full charge of supper. Well, you just tell her you hungry boys are waiting for it. Well, run on, sweetie. Did you meet Laura?
Well, she came to the door.
Oh, she let you in.
Yes, ma'am.
She is pretty, isn't she?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You know, it is so rare for a young girl who is as sweet and as pretty as Laura is to also be domestic. But Laura is, thank heavens, not only sweet and pretty, but also very, very domestic, because I am not at all. I could never make a thing but angel food cake. But of course, in the South, you know, we had so many servants. Gone, gone, gone. All vestiges of gracious living just gone completely. See, I wasn't prepared for what life had in store for me. Because all my gentlemen callers were planters, and sons of planters so naturally. I thought I would marry one, and I was just going to raise my family on a large plot of land with lots and lots of servants. But man proposes.
and woman accepts the proposal. To vary that old saying a little bit, well, I married no planter. I married a man who worked for the telephone company. That gallantly smiling gentleman over there. Telephone man who fell in love with long distance. And now he travels, and I don't even know why. Oh, well, now why am I going on about my tribulation? Now you tell me about yours.
Oh.
Because I hope you don't have any. Tom!
Yes, Ma.
Well, honey, what about supper?
Well, it appears to me that supper's on the table, Mother.
Well, so it is. Oh, now isn't that lovely? Now where's Laura?
Well, Laura's not feeling too well, and she says she thinks she'd better not come to the table.
Laura! Mr. O'Connor? Right here. Laura? Honey? We can't say grace until you come to the table. Standing over that hot stove has just made her ill. I told her it was just too warm, but... Oh, Mr. O'Connor, here, you just... Oh, please, come sit down. Would you like a little dandelion wine?
Well, all right, ma'am. Thank you.
Tom, is she all right?
Yes, Mother.
Ooh, looks like we're gonna have some rain. Tom? Would you say grace?
No, thanks.
Oh, now, what do we say before we sit and have some dinner? We say grace, don't we?
That's the kind of thing. No.
Oh, Mr. O'Connor, I have met such a lovely evening in a very long time.
Well, Miss Wakefield, let me give you a toast.
Oh,
Here is to the old South.
to the old South.
Hey, Mr. Lipo.
Well, now, where was Moses when the lights went out? Do you know the answer to that one, Mr. O'Connor?
No, ma'am, I don't. What is the answer to that one?
Well, I used to know one answer, but it wasn't very nice, so I thought maybe you might know another one.
No, ma'am, I don't.
Well, it's a good thing I put this candle on the table. I just put it on for decoration, but it's nice and it proves useful, too. Now, if one of you gentlemen could provide me with a match, then we could have a little illumination.
Well, I believe I can do that, ma'am.
Well, I guess it must be a burnt-out fuse. Do you know anything about burnt-out fuses, Mr. O'Connor?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do, ma'am. Where's the fuse box?
Oh, you have to know that too? Well, it's out there in the kitchen. But now don't stumble over anything, because it's dark out there. Oh, my Lord, wouldn't it be awful if we lost him? Mr. O'Connor, are you all right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm all right.
Oh, you know, Mr. O'Connor, I think electricity is a very mysterious thing. Of course, you know, the whole universe is mysterious to me. Now, wasn't it Benjamin Franklin that tied a key to a kite? I would love to have seen that. He must have looked pretty silly. Did you find it all right?
Yes, ma'am, I did, but them fuses looked okay to me.
Tom,
Yes, Ma.
do you remember that light bill I gave you a few days ago? The one I got the notice about?
You mean last month's bill?
You didn't neglect it, did you?
Well,
You did. I might have known.
Well, now, maybe Shakespeare wrote a poem on that light bill.
Maybe he did too. However, it was nice of them to let us finish our dinner before they plunged us into everlasting darkness. Now, Tom, as a penalty for your negligence, you may help me with the dishes.
Oh, well, can I be of some help, ma'am?
Oh, no, I wouldn't like that.
Oh, now, I ought to be good for something.
What did I hear?
Well, I said I ought to be good for something.
Well, that's what I thought I heard. Laura is all by her lonesome out there in the front. Would you like to keep her company? I can give you this lovely oak candelabrum for light. It used to stand on the altar of the Church of the Heavenly Rest, would you? And it melted a little out of shape when the church burned down. You see, the church was struck by lightning one spring, and Gypsy Jones, who was having a revival meeting in the village, said that the church was struck by lightning because the Episcopalians were having card parties right there in the church.
Is that so, ma'am?
I never say anything that isn't so.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Well, now, I'd like for Laura to have a little dandelion wine. You think you could manage both of those?
Well, I can sure try, ma'am.
Well, Tom, you get into your apron.
Well, how you feeling? Any better?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Oh, here, this is for you. It's a little dandelion wine.
Thank you.
Oh. Well, you drink it, but don't get drunk. Say, where am I going to put these candles?
Oh, anywhere.
Well, how about right here on the floor? You got any objections?
No.
I'll just spread some newspaper out here to catch the drippings. Say, I like to sit on the floor. You mind if I do?
No.
Would you hand me a pillow? Thanks. How about you? Don't you like to sit on the floor?
Yes,
Well, why don't you then?
I will. I will.
Yeah, take a pillow. Well, no, I can't even see if you sit way over there.
I can see you.
Yeah, but that's no fair. I'm right here in the limelight. Yeah. That's better. Now I can see you. You comfortable?
Yes, thank you.
So am I. I'm as comfortable as a cow. Say, Laura, would you care for a stick of chewing gum?
No, thank you.
Well, I believe I will indulge. Say, just imagine the fortune made by the guy that invented the first piece of chewing gum. Amazing, huh? You know that the Wrigley Building is one of the sights of Chicago. I saw it summer before last at the Century of Progress. You take in the Century of Progress?
No, I didn't.
Well, it was a wonderful exposition, believe me. You know what impressed me the most? The Hall of Science. Gives you an idea of what the future will be like in America. Oh, and it's a lot more wonderful than the present time is. Say, Laura, your brother tells me you're shy, is that right?
I don't know.
You know, I judge you to be an old-fashioned type of girl. Oh, and I think that's a wonderful type to be. I hope you don't think I'm being too personal, do you?
Mr. O'Connor, I believe that I will have a piece of chewing gum, if you don't mind.
Oh.
Mr. O'Connor, have you kept up with your singing?
Singing? Me?
Yes, I remember what a beautiful voice you had.
You heard me sing?
Oh, yes, very often. Well, I don't suppose that you remember me at all.
You know, as a matter of fact, I did think I'd seen you somewhere before. You know, it was almost like I was about to remember your name, but the name I was about to remember wasn't a name, so I stopped myself before I said it.
Wasn't it Blue Roses?
Oh, my gosh. Yes, Blue Roses. I didn't connect you with high school somehow or other, but that's where it was. It was high school, huh? I didn't know you were Shakespeare's sister. Gee, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right. I didn't expect you to. We barely knew each other.
Yeah, we did have a speaking acquaintance.
Yes, we spoke to each other.
Yeah, didn't we have a class and something or other together?
Yes, we did.
What class was that?
It was singing, chorus.
Oh.
I sat across the aisle from you in the auditorium Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Oh, I remember you now. You're the girl that always used to come in late.
Yes. Well, I had that brace on my leg back then. It was so hard for me getting up the stairs. It clumped so loud.
I never heard any clumping.
To me, it sounded like thunder.
I never even noticed.
Everybody was seated when I came in the room. I had to walk in front of all those people. My seat was in the back row. I had to go clumping up the aisle with everybody watching.
Oh, you shouldn't have been self-conscious.
I know. But I was.
Yeah, I remember you now. I used to call you Blue Roses. Well, I hope you didn't mind.
Oh, no, I liked it. You see, I wasn't acquainted with many people.
Yeah, I remember you kind of always stuck by yourself.
Well, I never had very much luck making friends.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, I started out badly.
Oh, you mean being the...
Yes, well, it always stood between me and other people.
Oh, now, you shouldn't have let it.
I know, but I did.
So you were shy with people.
Well, I tried not to be, but I never could.